Yo, so we all know God Valley is one of the biggest mysteries in One Piece, right? And with chapter 1096, I thought we were finally gonna get some answers.
That's stupid! Use your common sense!
And we did get some answers, but we ended up getting a lot more questions. And to be honest, I should have known better. I know how Oda likes to do this shit, but I had hope. And that's on me. That's my fault for having fucking hope. But it's interesting because in this chapter, we didn't get a lot of the big overt answers we were looking for, but there were a lot of subtextual things here that tell us a lot about what was going on. Like, just in the first page, we get the name drop of a new celestial dragon family. And in those same panels, we get apparently 3 new celestial dragons that we've never seen. And it's really interesting how a lot of the regular celestial dragons are ugly as shit, but every time we have important ones or more noble ones, they're like the pretty ones. Cause I'm sorry, that is a scumbag, but Garling is one pretty bitch. If I ain't never seen Aura before in One Piece, I seen it when young Garling first showed up on the screen. But yeah, we get the name drop of this Manmeyer family, but we have no context for that right now. It's just a name that I guess will become more important later, but right now it doesn't mean anything. And why do all the celestial dragons have these complicated ass last names? Manmeyer, Garland, Ethan Barron.
What the hell is even that?
Like, what y'all got going on? And then moving on, we get Jenny explaining the devil fruit prizes that are there. Which brings up a whole nother thing, because why does she call mythical zoans the strongest class of devil fruit? As far as we've known up to this point, people have only referred to Logias in that way. But I mean, as far as the devil fruits that we've seen, mythical zoans have far outranked Logia to me. Unless we see Logia awakenings and it's something crazy, I don't know. And then Jenny, she has to be some kind of like technical prodigy or some shit, cause she's supposed to be like 12 years old. She wiretapping, leaking out information to the rest of the world. Haven't you been a slave your whole life? Where did you learn to do this? And then people was talking about this might be Bonnie's mom or Luffy's mom.
No!
She damn sure not Luffy's mom. She too damn smart. I don't believe anybody in Luffy's family lineage is that smart. And Bonnie, I'm kind of having the same issue, cause Bonnie don't seem as dumb as Luffy, but she don't seem like she that bright either. And that kind of takes away from the whole Bonnie being a clone of Jenny thing, but I am still willing to believe that. But Bonnie, you should be a little smarter than this if that is the case. But I can't talk about that too long, cause we got the fucking rocks pirates in this bitch. And talking about this page specifically, I saw a lot of people complaining about the paneling and saying it looks too cluttered, and a lot of times I do have an issue with Oda's paneling. But here, I think the sheer amount of shit going on only works to add to the chaotic vibe of everything going on. Like, yeah, it feels scattered and all over the place, but I think that's kind of the point. But the first thing I noticed when I read this page is Rox's flag, because it seems like his Jolly Roger has like curly, flamey hair, and obviously the first thing I thought about was Nika. But what would be Rox's connection to Nika? Did he just look up to Nika? Or could he possibly have been the last person to have Luffy's devil fruit? I mean, it's not like that would be widespread knowledge, because the world government doesn't want people to know about the devil fruit or Rox. And this might be the reason why they don't want people to know about Rox. But if that's the case, was Rox actually able to awaken this devil fruit? And if he was, I think that changes a lot of things that we thought about Rox. At least for me specifically, it changes a lot of things that I thought about Rox. But the Rox pirates being here introduces a whole nother list of questions. Because at the beginning of this chapter, Garp mentions that they're only here because the celestial dragons took the crown jewel of Pirate Island. Like, what is that? What was so important that Rox had to mobilize the entire crew to get it back? And I don't think it was any of the devil fruits, because if that was the case, why would Big Mom want it? But this page is specifically the one I was talking about when I mentioned there being so much subtextual things in this chapter, because there is so much going on in the background, specifically with Rox's crew. Like, the first thing I noticed is Stussy being on Whitebeard's back, and there were a lot of people that assumed she was lying about being Whitebeard's lover back in the day, but it don't seem like she lying. Next time we see Miss Bakken, we might have to apologize to her. But f that. Granny Nyon was a member, but it was made a point to say that pirate empresses would not leave the island and go join somebody else's crew unless someone was there that they were in love with, which has me thinking, who was she in love with?
Oh, nigga!
I think the easiest, most obvious answer is Rox, but it could be anybody, to be honest. But whoever that person is, they are most definitely going to be on God Valley. And something that I didn't even notice in my first read through, but I saw a lot of other people mentioning, is how a lot of the Rox members resemble the zombies that Moria had on Thriller Bark. And if you remember back on Thriller Bark, Moria hyped these niggas up like they were really important and really strong. And it would make sense that he was so confident in them if they were old Rox Pirates members. And all of this just brings more credence to the theory theory that Thriller Bark used to be God Valley, because Moria did mention that Thriller Bark came from the West Blue. And what's the one island in the West Blue that's been unaccounted for 38 years?
Say you swear to fucking God.
And if that's the case, then I have to make the assumption that people like Captain John, Silver Axe, the nigga in the background with the claws, they all probably died on God Valley, and that's how Moria got their bodies. And then, covered in shadow, we see what I assume is Wang Ji / Ochoku, or whatever you want to call him. And it made me wonder, we're seeing all the faces of the Rock's pirate members, aside from Rocks himself. Why is Wang Ji still being hidden? I mean, he still had control over Pirate Island until not too long ago. Could he be more important to what's going on? Why are they hiding his face? Does he have a flame scar they're trying to hide or something? I don't know. But what I do know is Roger had Kaido shook the fuck up. I ain't never seen Kaido act like that.
Nah, I don't feel like you standing on business, nigga.
I know the nigga young, but I'm just saying he acting like that for a reason. You know who wasn't shook by Roger though? Garp. If there's anything I want to see from this flashback, I just want to see Garp and Roger fight. One good time. I know they can't fight the whole time because they gotta fight Rocks. But come on, man, let me see a couple clashes or something, please. But with all these people here, and us only recently learning about the Gods Knights, I question what their role will be here. Who are they even gonna fight? Or if they're not gonna have dedicated 1v1s, what else is their role gonna be? I mean, Garland has to get a 1v1, come on. But the rest of them might not, so I don't know what they're gonna do. And Kuma had one of the realest nigga moments in One Piece. I knew Kuma was top 5. I've been knew since he got introduced he was gonna be a top 5 character, I just couldn't prove it. But at like 8 years old, 9 years old, he sat right in front of Saturn, who as far as he know, is one of the most powerful people in the world. He sat in front of this nigga and basically said, who do you think you is? You ain't better than nobody, nigga. Now Kuma's a nice kid, so he ain't say it like that, but you feel me? And then he said, I'm gonna use my powers to save people. Just like Nika. That nigga Saturn was pissed. Kuma's so real for that. And at this point, I got a little upset because we immediately snap away from God Valley. And this is what I mean by they left so many questions on the table. There are so many other things I want to know just about the things that were shown in this chapter, let alone the other mysteries that we've had about God Valley that still haven't been revealed from way back then. Like first, how did Kuma escape? Like I know he has the paw fruit, but one, he doesn't know how to use it. And two, we know he didn't immediately leave the island right after this conversation. He stuck around for a little bit. So how did he manage to get away from Saturn, who in present time is currently holding down Sanji, Bonnie, Vegapunk, and who knows else, all at the same time, not even breaking a sweat? So how did little baby Kuma get away from him? The only thing we do know is that they didn't stick around to see the end of whatever happened at God Valley, so they don't know the real ins and outs of it, only what the newspaper said. But obviously, they stuck around for a little while, because it was enough time for Kuma to save 500 people. How did he save 500 people? Maybe it's some ability of the paw fruit that we haven't seen yet, because I can't imagine Kuma was running around God Valley, just smacking every slave he ran across, and ain't no celestial dragons try to stop his ass. So I had all these questions going in my head, so I did get a little upset, but I ended up forgiving it because the next scenes are so cute and wholesome. I couldn't even stay mad. Like Kuma is just such a nice kid. Like he saved 500 people, and he probably been sitting in that church for hours praying for all the other souls that he couldn't save. Me as a kid, you know what I would've, man, just know if I was a kid in that shit, 500 more niggas would have been dead. And then we get these wholesome scenes with Jenny and Kuma just happy because they finally get to live quiet, peaceful lives, crying tears of literal joy just from their stomachs being able to be full for the first time probably in their whole lives. And it's great. I love it. Great scene. But it just makes me sad because I know this girl's gonna die. It's inevitable. She's gonna die. I know how old it is in backstory, and I don't think I'm ready for it. But yeah, man, that's all I got for today. Let me know what you thought about this chapter in the comments below. If you liked the video, like the video. I know you liked the video because you wouldn't be watching if you didn't, you feel me? Subscribe to the channel. And yeah, man, I'm gone.
I stay out the mix, I can't fuck with you. You going for shit, need to fix up these things. My brother